tournament, championship game, overtime game, and the opposing team had scored on a questionable call. It was questionable. A little bit of an anger management issue I had, so instead of punching a coworker, I had punched the change room door. Broke my fourth and fifth fingers. Wish I had a better story for you, but yep, that's it.
I got another question here too. People want to know why Vanna is ignoring all the questions about her. Do you care to comment about that? No comment is the comment.
PR person says no comment.
PR person says no comment. She's flustered now.
Sorry to
Both
distract
of them.
I took him out of the game.
Yeah. I can tell you that we do have all the uniform updates from the NHL this year, and there's some amazing uniforms. We're lucky enough and privileged enough to get a preview, a confidential preview, and you guys are going to be very excited. The goalies been revamped, the AI goalies, yes. So one of the things that we're talking about here at E3 is our goalies being live for the first time. So this year you can run the goalie, you can bump the goalie. One of the issues around making the goalies live is making sure that he can still make incredible saves, making sure there's no exploit goals, which is really important. When we ship with an exploit in the game, we basically throw out a year's worth of hard work. So it's really important to us that we make sure the goalies are solid. So now that the goalies are live and can get bumped, you're going to see the goalies being aggressive themselves, holding their position. Also seeing goalies making more desperation saves, more scramble saves. We're probably all watching the playoffs right now and watching Tim Thomas and some of the incredible saves that he's making. So really a sense of desperation and scrambling from the goalies and making sure that there's no holes in there, which is really, really important to us. No confirmed date yet for the demo. I can tell you that we're working on it right now, and like every year, it will be in August. No exact date yet, though. Be a GM. So we're not talking a whole lot about Be a GM here at E3. I do want to say, though, we have lots of great features. So for E3, we're just focusing on the three main things that you've probably seen before. So you've heard me talk about. So the Winter Classic new presentation, the physicality of the sport with everything being live, and then the goalies and the goalie fighting. We do have some really cool stuff coming down the pipe for VGM. We have a new sim engine that's driving our VGM and our VIA Pro as well, so look for more details on that coming out, but it's something that we're really, really excited about. This announcement is probably one of the things that, it is the thing that I'm probably most excited about in my 4 years working on the NHL franchise. I think it's something that everyone's going to love, and it's going to resonate with all the hockey fans out there, and even the non-hockey fans too, so really, really excited about this one. Wow, the biggest change since NHL 11, like I mentioned, for me, it's the overhaul of our presentation on the visual side, and then with the physics this year, our full contact physics engine, just making everything live and taking physics to the next level for us, which is really important, and just really creating that realism, that open-ended gameplay that we strive for every single year. So, with our physics this year, what you're going to see is situations where a player will hit a player and occasionally both players will go down, or sometimes the hitter will go down as well, a small player and a big player. You're going to see a lot more stumbles and guys trying to keep their balance on smaller hits. So really just creating more dynamic reactions and hits with the physics, and then on top of that, just making everything live. And now that the goalies are live and the net's coming off the moorings and the glass is breaking, the secondary characters on the bench are all reacting properly. It's really just made the whole environment live and just added the sense of realism. So really excited about that. No, like I mentioned before, just making sure there is no exploits on the gameplay side. This year we're not going to allow the goalies to get injured. We don't want the situation where first play of the game you run the goalie and you sacrifice, taking a 5-minute penalty for running the goalie, and then you take the other team's, backstopper, the goalie out of the game. So, we're going to see how things work out this year with that, and that's something potentially we'll look at down the road. But for this year, there'll be no injuries on the goalie. Well, right now at E3, the demos, if you guys have seen any of the videos, right now for E3 we have all the physicality stuff jacked up in the build. So right now helmets are popping off all the time, the glass is breaking all the time. It's easy to run the goalie, the net's coming off. This is not an optimal gameplay experience. It's just for the demo. So when we ship the game, we're going to try and be authentic. How often does a glass break in real life? One every 20, 25 games, maybe. So it's something that will happen. It'll be rare. Breaking off hits, breaking off shots. Helmets popping off, same thing. Does it happen every game? No. So we're going to try and just be authentic with that and not make it a sideshow. But it is part of the game. It is something that happens, so we're going to have it in there. And when that helmet's live on the ice, much like the broken sticks last year, it's going to be reacting with all the full contact physics. So if a skate hits it or a stick hits it or a puck hits, it's going to be reacting and impacting gameplay. How many player faces have been added this year? I don't know the exact number offhand. I do know that our guys back home in Vancouver have been working hard updating all the heads, not only adding new heads but also updating the existing heads to make them all look better. You also notice when you see the game this year, just the improved visuals overall, just improved lighting. We have, in my opinion, one of the best art directors working on hockey. He's a huge hockey guy this year. He's come in and really made an impact in a single year, overhauling the entire look of the game. You'll see this year from the time you put the disc in. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to drop you right into the Winter Classic off the boot flow. So before you do all the sign and registration, you're going to get a chance to experience the gameplay and see all the work that we've done with our visuals this year, improving the presentation. And then later on, we'll do all the sign and stuff and get you to the main menu. So really, really excited, and that's why we decided to put that Winter Classic right in the boot flow, so you get to experience kind of our most presentation-rich experience within seconds of putting the disc in. Battles in front of the net. So that's a great question. When I played Hockey Ultimate Team last year and played Versus and just watched how people were playing, even EA Sports Hockey League, we noticed that it was the small, quick guys that were dominating. People weren't picking the bigger, stronger guys on their team. So what that tells me is that we weren't doing a good enough job of making sure that the big, strong guys were able to use their size and strength to their advantage. So one of the things we want to do this year is make sure that those guys, those big, strong guys, the prongers of the world, can handle themselves in front of the net. They can manage in front of the net. They can clear the slot area for the goalie. So this year you'll see if you use your left stick to skate like you normally do to get close to a player, then your right stick hold to engage. And by engaging, you can tie the stick up, depending on where you are in relation to the player. You can also throw cross checks like you can before, and again, the bigger, stronger guys will be able to drive those smaller guys out of that slot area, and smaller guys will be able to do a half circle on the left stick and able to spin and try and get open. The great thing about the way we put this feature in is one of the things, one of the two pillars that we try to follow every single year. The first being authenticity, and the second one being total control to the user, allowing the user to do whatever he wants whenever he wants to do it. So with the net battles this year, it's not a two-player animation. The players aren't stuck in that animation, so at any point they can break out and still make a play. So one of the best things to do in the game right now, and the funnest things to do is watch the net battle in front, work the puck back to the point, see when your guys spin to get open, see the goalie looking around the screen, and then shoot the puck looking for a deflection. The other thing that Net Battles has done to really change the game is there's a lot more action going on in front of the net now. So you're taking shots from the point, more pucks are going off legs, more pucks are going off sticks, a lot more scrambles in front of the net, which ties in nicely with the goalies being able to scramble more too. So we put a lot of time and effort into our Be a Pro mode this year. When we did the mode in 09 for the first time, we quickly found out that sitting on the bench and watching AI versus AI was not a fun gameplay experience as a user. So that's why we allowed you to put yourself back on the ice in 09. You press the button and get back on. So what we're doing this year is the problem that brought for us was you could be a fourth liner, not playing very well, but you can still get back on the ice and play first line minutes, or even more than first line minutes. So not very realistic or authentic. So this year the whole concept is earn your ice time. So you're going to be given tasks by your coach, both game tasks and situational tasks. And the better you do at carrying out those tasks, the more ice time you're going to get. So if you're a fourth line guy playing, maybe 3 or 4 shifts per period because you're not playing very well, to get around sitting on the bench watching the AI, which you can do. So if you want an authentic experience, you can sit there and watch the AI versus AI. We give you 2 other options as well. You can press our text sim, which is basically leveraging the new sim engine that we have. It cuts away from gameplay, goes to our action tracker, where you can see a text script of basically all the events that are happening, scrolling up until it's your turn to go on the ice. So, you can be there for anywhere from 5 seconds to a minute just watching the text, seeing all the plays update on the screen. Or the third way, much like the show does, is you can actually press the button and advance to your next shift. So if you're a fourth liner playing 2 or 3 shifts per period, you don't need to sit there for the duration of the game. You can just fast forward to the next shift, next time the coach taps you on the shoulder, and get back on the ice. New skating engine, that's a great question too. So we've done a lot of things with our skating this year. What you're going to see is a lot, players busting through the neutral zone is one of the things we're really working on. Really trying to capture with our skating this year a sense of intent and people moving with intent and moving to give better puck support. So just really trying to capture that part of the game, making sure the AI and the skating work hand in hand to give better puck support, especially through neutral zone and in the in zone setup. Looking at looking at our game right now, we're really focused on a couple different areas. The neutral zone, like I just mentioned, is one of the things, and making sure the AI moves with intent through the neutral zone, but also in the offensive zone, make sure they set up properly and they're taking shots in the right situations. They're not passing the puck back and forth multiple times before actually shooting. So just more strategic in their decision making in the offensive zone. So that's something we're working on. We're continuing to work on right now. I get lots of questions about the goalie helmets, the goalie mask specifically, and I don't know if all you guys know this, but typically the goalie does not own the rights to the art on their mask. It's usually the artists that own those rights. So for us to get the goalie masks in the game, we actually need to go and talk to all of the artists. So we'll be, it's something that I know you guys have all asked for, and something we'll be looking at. It is a lot of time and effort on our side, but it's something that we know is important to you, so it's something we'll be looking at moving forward. So a little preview of the APX skate. So all the equipment companies have been fantastic to work with.